Rev up your engines! Here we have an interesting Kia. The customer put the sign on. It's a hybrid. It burns gas and oil because it burns oil. They bought it brand new. It's only got 17,000 miles on it, and it started burning oil right around when it had 15,000 miles on it. Now, it didn't originally, so that kind of tells you, you know, something is amiss here. Now, Kia knows they have problems. This one actually had a recall, and they went through the BS process of Kia where they said, no, we're not going to replace the engine or fix it, even though it's burning oil. You know how that goes with these companies. They were even told by mechanics at the place that, well, unless you just drive until the engine blows up, they'll put another engine in then, but they're not going to fix it if it's burning oil. Now, obviously, it shows they're not making them correctly, because the first 15,000 miles, it didn't burn any oil. Now it is, right? Obviously, something's wearing out. They're not going to admit to any of this stuff because, you know, they don't want to replace all these engines. Kia's had nothing but engine problems for decades. They had those ones that were made in the United States where the engines were blowing up and they blamed it on a bad machine that didn't make the engines right, and then metal was going inside and blowing them up. These aren't particularly blowing up if you keep adding oil, but they are burning oil. Now take my 94 Celica, okay? It burns half a quart of oil every 3,000 miles. I changed it then, so I really don't care. Now, why does it burn oil? It burns oil because it's got 240,000 miles on it. Things are worn, but really, I mean, that's a lot of miles. This baby's only got 17,000 now, and it started burning oil when it had 15,000. Now, Kia says through their corporate baloney line, well, if it takes 1,000 miles or more to burn 1 quart of oil, that's normal and not going to do anything about it whatsoever. Now, granted, this car is only burning half a quart of oil about every 1,000 miles. But still, it's a brand new car practically. 17,000 miles, it started burning oil at 15,000 miles. And here's the funny thing. According to Kia, you're only supposed to change the oil every 7,500 miles. He changes the oil and drives it. It doesn't really burn any oil until it gets about 4,000 miles or so on it, then it starts burning oil. You're going against their own rules. I just change the oil every 4,000 miles. What's happening is, as the oil gets older, it gets degraded and it breaks down some. And this is a very high-tech engine. See, it's got ignition coils on the top, got a timing chain on it, and it's not a particularly tiny engine. It's a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. That's definitely big enough. It's not like those crappy little 1-liter 3-cylinder engines. They all end up burning oil because they strain too much. Now, if it's turbocharged, you have all that extra air rammed in the engine, which increases the pressure inside the combustion chamber, which does wear them out. And if you've ever owned a turbocharged car that got old, you'll notice it probably starts burning oil as it ages, especially when you rev it to the higher RPMs. But this is a normally aspirated 4-cylinder 2-liter engine. It shouldn't have any problems burning oil at all. They obviously do not make the things correctly. Now, just for kicks, we'll pull out the spark plugs and look at them, see what kind of shape they're in, see how much oil it's actually burning. But before I take out the spark plugs, here's the rest of the story. So the owner tells me they did take it to the dealer, and it was right at 7,500 miles for an oil change. And the guy there was a nice mechanic. He said, well, we won't change the oil now. We'll let you do the oil test because they'll have a better chance of burning oil and they'll fix your engine. So they seal the engine and they let him drive 1,000 miles. So he comes back after 1,000 miles, right? And the guy told him, well, you should check your oil level so you don't blow up your engine. So they did. Well, when he came in, they said, well, one, your test is going to be invalid because you broke the seal on the oil dip stick. Now, to me, that's absurd because so what if he broke the seal on the oil dip? That's just for checking the oil, right? He didn't empty any out, right? Well, regardless, the guy said it wouldn't even matter because it had burnt oil, but in that 1,000 miles, it had only burned half a quart of oil. And as I said earlier, Kia says a quart of oil every 1,000 miles or a quart of oil every 1,500 miles or whatever is normal and they're not going to fix it anyways. And then the guy says, well, I'll change the oil for 60 bucks. We're not going to give you another car. And then we can perform the test again if you want, but we got to keep the car overnight. We're not going to give you a loaner car. So they thought and said, okay, now will you put this in writing for us? The guy says, no, I'm not going to put it in writing. And that's something I warned people about. always get it in writing. I've had so many people. I did a guy once. I said, the spark plugs have been changed on your car to hide something. They're brand new. And he just had the car serviced at the dealer. That was the only guy who worked on it, right? But I looked at his bill, and there was nothing about spark plugs on the bill. They didn't want to fix some warranty work, and the bill said what he had done. It was like a $900 bill, but there wasn't a mention of spark plugs on it. They're brand new spark plugs. So I said, well, somebody did. And he said, well, I didn't, and they're the only ones that worked on it. So he goes back to him and he says, well, I noticed there's new spark plugs on the car, but it's not on the bill. And you know the baloney they gave him? They said, well, sir, we changed your spark plugs free as a service, so we didn't put it on the bill. What a line of baloney. They just flat out lied to him. So anytime you go in, you gotta get it in writing, especially if it's a warranty thing. I've had people over the years, they'll have a noise. They've still got like 2,000 miles left on their original car warranty. The engine's making a noise. When you take it to the dealer, have it written down. Customer complains of this noise. And then they say, we didn't find anything, whatever. Just don't say, oh, well, we didn't find anything. Here's your car back. You don't get a receipt. You gotta get a receipt. Because then if the engine blows up after the warranty's over, you got paperwork to say, look, it was making a noise. They couldn't figure out what it was. Now the engine's gone. You're going to fix my engine. You got to get a paper trail with these people because they're bureaucrats. They don't care. But in this case, they wouldn't have done anything anyways because it doesn't burn a quart or more of oil every 1,000 miles. So we'll take out the spark plugs. Look, see how bad it actually is. We'll take one out. Look at it. Get the ignition coil off. Then we'll pull the spark plug out. Knock out the spark plug. Now, you can see it's not outrageous. It's got some spotty burning oil. It's nothing outrageous, but it is burning some oil. But we're gonna have to check them all, see if any are worse than the others. Not only can you see little spots on it, but look, oil. Shouldn't be oil on them. Check them all. And here comes number 2. They got long threads on these things. And it's hot because he drove all the way from Arkansas. And you can see it's a little bit less. And when I squeeze the top, it's not particularly oily like the other one was. Meaning that the number 1 cylinder's more worn than the number 2. Now here's number 3. It's still got this little spotty burning stuff, but it's totally dry. There's no oil at all on the edge, so that's even in better shape. Now we'll do the last one, number 4. And we'll see what it looks like. There's oil on the front one and the back one. Obviously, the ends of the engine are wearing more than the middle, which is typical on an old worn out engine because you've got all the lubrication and coolant that cools the middle of the engine best, but the exterior parts of the engine, the front and the back, they're the ones that often suffer from some lack of lubrication, some lack of cooling, because they're on the edge. Just like if you remember the old Volkswagen Beetles with air-cooled engines, the number 3 cylinder would always burn out first because it had less airflow. Being an air-cooled engine, that cylinder didn't get enough air and it was always the first one to burn up. On a water-cooled engine, cylinders that don't get as much cooling on the edge will generally wear faster than the ones in the middle. And of course, the dirtier the oil gets, then it will start leaking and or burning it more as it gets dirty. I mean, maybe after this vehicle, Kia will do something, but from my experience, they really don't give a rat's behind about their customers. But if you do own one of these like this, take my advice. Change the oil every 5,000 miles with full synthetic oil, and maybe it won't burn any oil. They tell you, well, you only need to change it to 7,500, but it's normal that they're gonna burn some oil while you're doing that. The logic of these companies is just beyond me. I got the plugs back in. I'll put the stupid beauty cover on. I know, doesn't make it look that beautiful. I think it's a stupid idea, but that's engineering for you. Other than the oil burning, the wife's real happy with it because it gets 38 miles a gallon. The husband, not so much because it's the first CVT he has and he hates the way it slouches up and down. Because of course, this doesn't have a launch gear like the Hondas and Toyotas do. So they are kind of wonky when they're accelerating up and down. We'll take it for a spin, I'll show you. Get out the key, at least it has a real key. I like that. Give them a plus for that. Starts right up. I mean, it's only got 17,286 miles on it. You can see it's not bad. Doesn't have the side pictures and stuff, but I mean, this is an economy car. And I gotta say, it idles smooth, doesn't shake at all. And you're relatively high up in the air. You can see pretty far, but you can see it doesn't have the acceleration of a Honda or Toyota with a launch gear. It's a relatively responsive car. When you're taking the corners, you feel under control. It's not as tight as other cars, but it's not particularly sloppy either. Got a decent wheelbase that it corners quite well. You don't feel insecure. I mean, the brakes are really responsive. All their stuff in the back fell forward when I slammed the brakes on. They work perfectly fine. They didn't slip either. ABS works. Take it to our little drag strip and see what it does. Here we go. We're headed to the drag strip, and there's nobody behind us, so we can come to a stop. There's the line, and let's see what this thing can do. Here we go. We'll floor it. That was the ABS slipping because it's wet. And you noticed it turned itself off. Now, it does make a lot of noise. It accelerates okay. But you can see from the auto stop to save gas, when it started, there was quite a bit of hesitation when it restarted. The other day, I was checking out that Ford Bronco. And the Ford Bronco had no hesitation when it shut itself off to save gas. And then when I stepped on the gas, it was a very smooth transition. This has a pretty rough transition. You can clunk it when you stepped on it. It took a while to hesitate and then take off because it had shut it off to conserve gas. Now the wife in this case doesn't have a lead foot, but the husband does. And he doesn't particularly like the CVT, but she likes 38 miles a gallon. We'll do a little acceleration. I'll see what it does. Makes a lot of noise. It does accelerate. It's not horrible. Like I say, it's nothing like the Honda and Toyota with launch gears, and nothing like a regular, say, 6 or 7 speed automatic transmission that has gears that it can shift up and down, get a lot more acceleration. It handles pretty good in the twisties, you know. It's kind of a zippy little car. I would just be royally pissed if I had a car that had 17,000 miles on it that was burning oil. Because that's right now, with 17,000 miles on the clock. Imagine what it's going to do if it makes it to 100,000 miles. It's either going to burn a whole bunch more oil, or the engine's going to blow up. But the overall design of the car, hey, check it out. Got windows everywhere. The driver's got a very good view for traffic. You're not going to miss anything. There's no blind spots. It's pretty well designed from that standpoint. It's just that the stupid thing burns oil. And unlike the early Kia Souls that had those giant hamsters or whatever they were selling them, these aren't bizarre looking cars. They look kind of nice. They have their own style. It's just that there it is. It's a hybrid. It burns gas and oil. And to the way that Kia dealerships mistreat their own customers, I've seen it here now, I've seen it in Arkansas, I've seen it back in Houston, I would never buy a Kia. And I wouldn't advise anyone else to either. It's your money, you can do whatever you want with it, but heed my warning like smart people do. I have so many people come here and they say, Scotty, we should have listened to your advice. We will next time. Well, don't make it a next time. Listen to me now. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.